The guaranteed data delivery use case. So, guaranteed data delivery may be a design pattern that some of you may want to have in your system. Here, basically, there are some QoS policies that are very important to guarantee data delivery. For example, you may think that reliable data is guaranteed data, but that's really not what we're talking about. Reliable QoS policy actually requires an operational publishing and subscribing application and connected networks. So yes, if your application that's sending the data is alive and your application that's subscribing to data is alive and the interconnection between those two applications is okay and works, then DDS can get the data reliably from the publishing application to the subscribing application. But the reliability policy is actually only guaranteeing or only responsible for getting the data into the data reader's receive cache or its receive queue. Whether or not your application code actually processes the data is not part of what reliability is trying to give you. For people who need guaranteed data delivery, okay, basically you want, for those types of systems, they want to allow user logic to tell DDS when the data is received, okay, and it's usually after you've processed the data. And it also wants DDS to be able to provide the capability of delivering all the data, okay, even if the sending or receiving applications crashed sometime in the middle of it. Or even if the network is broken for a certain amount of time in the middle of all of this. And an example type of system that really needs this is a financial system. I mean, banks certainly don't want you to withdraw money from an ATM and not have it recorded in their system just because the ATM crashed as soon as it gave you the money, or the network broke down, or or anything. They want to know that the message that allows them to deduct that money from your account has been processed. Okay, so if they're using DDS to connect those systems, they're going to depend on DDS to provide guaranteed data delivery. RTI Connext DDS offers some features to help you implement the guaranteed data delivery use case. In terms of quality of service, you will need to enable the reliability quality of service. In addition, there's something known as application level acknowledgement. By default, reliability only guarantees that the data is delivered to the data reader. It doesn't know anything about whether or not the application actually took or saw the data or processed the data. So reliability says, hey, I'll keep a copy of this data until it's been delivered. Well, that's not enough for guaranteed data delivery. What you really want is the reliability protocol to keep a copy of the data until it's been processed. And that's where application level acknowledgement comes in. Instead of automatically acknowledging data as soon as it's been stored in the data reader, it's only acknowledged after the application executes some code that informs DDS that the data is no longer needed to be stored. Sometimes you want to make sure that a particular entity, a particular application has received the data. This is something that can be implemented using a feature called required subscriptions. Required subscriptions uses a couple of QoSs, availability QoS and entity name QoS. So this tells DDS, please store the data until an application or applications with these names have told you that they've received and processed the data. Not just any application, but these specific applications. So those applications may not even be up and running at the time you publish the data. So DDS is going to store the data until those applications start up, receive the data, and tell us that they've received the data. Then we also have durable writer history and durable reader state. Durable writer history and durable reader state will store the data that you sent, or store the state that's needed to deliver the data that you sent on a hard drive as the data is being sent. This is very useful if you suffer a power outage, for example, and all the applications crash in the middle without, and so this is something that allows DDS to restore its state and continue where it left off. So it's something that's very useful for guaranteed data delivery.